100 Days of Gratitude, day 5. And today I am grateful for that idea, concept, space, physical space, emotional space, feeling that which we call home. And whatever I was hoping to get from this video series, here we are to day 5, and I'm already, seeing the benefits. I actually kind of first thought waking up this morning, still in bed, is like, what am I grateful for? What can I share in a video today? And just kind of gently, naturally, this idea of home came to mind. And for the next few minutes, still lying in bed, I kind of thought all about the concept of home and how that home has been a thread throughout my life, and how it changes for each of us, and how it is so many things, right? It is a physical space, and even that changes, but it's also kind of an emotional space. That idea of home is where the heart is. And I know for me growing up, as all of us, it's our mothers, that create that space that we identify as home. And then as we grow, I know for me, kind of as a teenager, within my home, I created my own little home in my room, and creating those little space, little plants and artwork. It was kind of a reflection of me in the space that I wanted to create. And then leaving home, I live places, but it took a while to develop what I would consider a home, especially first out of school and into college. And my mother still held down that space, knowing how important home is. Held that down, created that space, held that space for my brother and I whenever we would return to her wherever she was, that it would still feel like home. But what a wonderful sensation, what a wonderful concept. I'm not sure if there's a single living being that doesn't have a sense and appreciation of home. And yet, as universal as it is, it's still something so special. And I understand that not a lot of people have a nice home, a welcoming home, a beautiful home. And yet, regardless, that concept of home still is a sanctuary, right? Because home can be defined in any number of ways. It's not just the place you return to sleep, right? It's an inner space, and we all have this sense of a home within us, and maybe that's what makes the transition of from this life death so challenging, is we identify so much with home, and yet there are a lot, especially within the religious, or I should say it's actually more of a spiritual experience of home, where a lot of people say, they're returning home. And whether that is your physical body, which is made of the earth, when it returns, in that sense, it's returning home. But a lot of people identify, as something bigger and beyonder, their spirit, as it were, returning home, melding back into the infinite. Maybe that's the ultimate sense of home. But regardless of what it is for you in this moment, in this life, it's a beautiful, special place. And I'm not much one for astrology, but maybe my appreciation of home comes from the fact that I'm told that Cancers like myself really value home and appreciate home and place an emphasis on home. And if that's true, well, that's me. I have, always loved home and strive to create a beautiful home. So I love where I live. And, again, from an internal to an external, the micro to the macro, an internal sense of home, which, as I mentioned, can extend into the infinite. We can all cultivate that regardless of where we live. I think that is kind of the most fundamental, universal sense of home. And then from there, it extends outwards, right? To those you love and who you're with. That can have a sense of home. If you're a parent, you cultivate that sense of home for your children, again, regardless of a physical environment. It's more that emotional space. But creating that physical environment, the nest, is an absolute beautiful thing. And I love where I live. Not only the home, the house itself and everything in it, and the space and the energy it's infused in, but also, right, like I would identify this as my home. One of the things I love about traveling is actually not so much the traveling, but the returning, the feeling that I get when I'm somewhere else, that though some places can feel like home when I travel, it actually just strengthens my sense of home. Where is home? It's amongst, these hills and this landscape. And in particular, within, if we want to kind of define it geographically, right, the foothills of Western Canada, within Canada. So there's that sense of home on a larger macro level of the people you're around, the culture, the political borders, shall we say. But really, what is that? What makes that sense of home? It's the landscape and it's the people, and having that sense of home, all that we're familiar with. So yeah, it's a beautiful day, reflecting on home, being grateful for home. And day 5, this is as I shared right when I first woke up, I'm liking this. We're 5 days in, and appreciate all the comments, everything everybody has shared, and your own reflections. This is kind of a join along, choose your own adventure every day as I share gratitude. Today, I'm grateful for home, and I'll continue to reflect on what that is, what that means for me, and appreciate everything about home.